welcome to our introduction. And here's our trivia for the day. Our trivia for the day is the human stomach can dissolve razor blades. On the rare occasion that you swallow a razor blade, don't fret. The human body is more capable than you think. Acids are ranked on a scale from 0 to 14. The lower the pH level, the stronger the acid. Human stomach acid is typically 1.0 to 2.0, meaning that it has an impeccably strong pH. In a study, scientists found that the thickened back of a single-edged blade dissolved after 2 hours of immersion in stomach acid. Check out this time's Animal Steps, Scientists Solve Big Mysteries. So our trivia for today is so unbelievable, and I think that it's impossible, but based on what I've read, that it's crazy that the human stomach can dissolve a razor blade. Crazy, right? Next is our agendas. Our agenda for today is you'll be more observant. You'll be able to know how to get more information about oral reports. And you'll be able to know the importance of oral reports. First, we have listening and note-taking from oral reports. Taking effective notes in lectures or tutorials is an essential skill in your studies. Good note-taking allows a permanent record of key information and concepts that you can integrate in your own writing. Taking reliable, accurate, and substantial notes also reduces the risk of plagiarizing. It helps you distinguish where your ideas came from and how and what you think about those ideas. And the effects of listening, it helps build relationships, solve problems, ensure understanding, resolve conflicts, and improve accuracy. If you are at work, for example, if you are at work, effective listening means fewer errors and less wasted time. And when you're at home, it helps develop resourceful, self-reliant kids who can solve their own problems. Listening builds friendships and careers. So, you need to listen more to understand more of what is being said and what is being told to you. And you need to pay attention and give the speaker your undivided attention and acknowledge the message. And show to the speaker that you are listening, and use your own body language and gestures to show that you are engaged. And you also need to provide feedback and deferred judgment, and or you need to respond appropriately depending on what you've listened. Next up, what should useful notes have? So first of all, we have key concepts and main points. Listening is a process involves 5 stages: receiving, understanding, evaluating, remembering, and responsive. Active listening is a particular communication technique that requires the listener to provide feedback on what he or she hears to the speaker. So that is the one key concepts on listening, or useful, or keep useful notes. And you need to note some important examples because it can help you on your further discussion of the topic or a certain topic. And definitions and new vocabulary. It means that if you have something to take note of its definition, for you not to forget what it means, and a new vocabulary because there are some deeper words. I'll give you an example like understand. Deeper word for understand is comprehend. So if you know those things, you'll be able to cope up more on the topic, and if you know its definition, it won't be difficult for you to understand a certain topic. And any reference provided, make sure that if something is given to you, like a link on a certain topic and cite its reference, make sure to take note of that because it is important because the topic came from there and it's your reference on what you need to learn. Next up is anything you don't understand, difficult concepts or unfamiliar terms. Make sure to also take note of that things because it can be more easier for you if you don't understand anything to take note of it because for you to remember the things that you might forget and later you think it's important, so you won't have problem finding it anymore. And lastly, your thoughts, questions, and ideas. Listing your thoughts, it's like your reflection on the story and the discussion. It's like you're listing down the things that you've learned and when you have questions, like you write down your questions in a way that at the end of the topic and you can understand it and you can list it on your notes for you not to forget the questions. For the next time you've encountered one again, you know what is the answer for that question. And especially your ideas. Because your ideas are important also to take note of because it's what you know and it's what you believe. And sometimes it is right, it is wrong, but your ideas make you more knowledgeable on the things that you need to understand or explain. Next, is there a reason why you should take notes? Taking notes is important because you can use them as reviewer or use them as reference. Like for example, the teacher is discussing to you a certain topic and of course you need to listen, but there are things that you need to take notes of like the important details, simple details, like the simplest things or the little things you need to take note of for you not to forget them. And the if there is a test, you can review them and you can cite references. So that's the reason why you should take notes. And here are 6 good reasons why you should take notes. Notes are a useful record of key information and the sources of that information. It's like research things. Notes inscribe information kinesthetically and helps you remember what you heard. Taking notes helps you to concentrate and listen effectively. Selecting what to note down increases your understanding. Notes create a resource for exam preparation. Notes taken in classes often contain information that can't be found elsewhere. So, in these reasons, you should take notes, like help you concentrate and listen. Like while you're listening to your teacher, sometimes there is no presentation to look for and there's no like writings to write down for in your notes. So it's important to write down notes and listen to your teacher for you to list down the notes that you've listened and some important little details like that. And it increases your understanding more because you cannot forget what you've heard, and preparation of your exam, it can be a good source and reference. Taking notes versus listening, which is more important. You'll get most out of lectures if you do both. But don't focus on noting everything down to the extent that you missed what the lecturer is saying. Remember that active listening and thinking are more important. Lecture slides are usually an outline of the lecture content. They guide your listening and help you identify the key topics and concepts. Take note of what appears on them, but don't confine your note thinking to simply copying it. The information is usually very limited compared to what the lecturer says. So it's more effective to listen to the lecture and take notes from that. Most lecturers make their slides available before class. So print them out and take additional notes in the lecture. Lastly, we have the Cornell note-taking system. You know that there are many different ways of taking notes in school or at the university. Some prefer to take a structured approach and use an outline method to take notes. Some may prefer a visual way and draw mind maps. Some may even use no structure at all. However, there is a note-taking technique that in many cases has proven that it is not only more efficient, but also makes it a lot easier to review notes. Like for example, when preparing for an exam, the method is called Cornell note-taking. It is a system for taking, organizing, and reviewing notes. It was devised by Professor Walter Pock of Cornell University in 1950s. So this is the link on how to make Cornell notes. The link will be put in the description below. So now you've learned what is the importance of listening and taking down notes. I hope that in your future classes that now you know the importance of it, you'll be able to listen to your teacher and especially take down notes. And just not only take down notes, but listen carefully to what the teacher is saying, because sometimes the teacher can say small little things that can have a big impact in your studies or in your life that you need to take down of. So always take note of that, because listening is more important than taking down notes. So always take note of that, what I said. So you'll be more active in class, participate in class, and have a better recitation and not just take down notes. Thank you for listening and God bless.